Welcome to Soul Ajar. I'm gonna try to do a video for this podcast because it's fun, and I have my little setup. I just had to do some troubleshooting because I had this candle burning, and I haven't lit these candles over here. I normally have these on my dining table, but it started burning the wood. This one's low enough to where it's not. But I was like, why does it smell fucking crazy? And then I was like, oh, I'm about to start a fire. So we got one of the candles blown out, and then we have the other one for the ambiance. And then I have another one down here for it to smell good, because it started to smell weird because I almost started a fire with the wood. So, yay! This is gonna be like a super different format than my other episodes. I think I want to start with the tarot pool. Tarot of the day. And the crazy thing is, I have my setup right now. I have my laptop on my pillows, my microphone on a stack of books. The top book being a boy love manga that I got for one of my best friend's birthdays. So I'll have to get another book next time to get the right level. But I might have to make the audio slightly worse or just lean in a little bit when I pull out my tarot book to read the interpretation. Okay, let's see. What's the vibe for today? Well, honestly, guys, the vibe for today is weird. It's 6:43 a.m. Oh! I don't even need to look this card up because I recently got it in a reading, actually. But before I get into the card that just came out, the vibe for today is weird because I woke up at like 3 a.m. because I had a dream that I had a huge falling out with my best friends. And it made me really sad. But also I went to bed super early last night. I'm probably going to end up falling asleep after I record this. But for some reason I just feel so energized. I don't know if it's because I went to bed like super early. And now I just feel so energized, and I edited some vlogs, and I'm just feeling really creatively inspired. So I was like, let's record a podcast. My dreams have been really weird lately, guys. Like yesterday I had a dream that we got that's one for like people who are watching the video. Because I'm not going to say that on my podcast. Like, we don't need to. So then, and yesterday was the first day of Mercury retrograde in Pisces. So, the miscommunications, the shadow period, I was already feeling it. But also, fuck the shadow period. I'm just about to get my period. So, it's a weird morning so far. This never happens to me, where I like wake up at this time, but I like when random shit happens. We need to switch it up once in a while. Card of the day is 5 of Pentacles. You need to ask for help. You listening to this, you're not in this alone. You might be struggling financially, perhaps, but you have somebody with you. You have somebody with you. Don't be scared to ask for help. Think of this window as a church. What are churches known for? Offering communal support at their best. At their worst, that's not what this card is about. But at the best, churches offer communal support. So whatever your church is, whether that's your friend group, your family, get that support today. I sound like an ad. Call 1-800-FAMILY SUPPORT. Call 1-800-SOUL-AJAR to get your support today. /5 of Pentacles for 10% off. Yeah, great card. I don't even have to fuck up my stack of book mic holder situation going on here. I keep looking over here to make sure the wood on this side's not burning, because I was like, it literally, guys, the wood smelled like fucking urine. I don't understand why it smelled like that. Oh my god, the sun is coming up. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Soul Ajar at sunrise. It just seems correct. it smelled like piss, and I was like, did my cat just take a crazy piss? I was like spraying my like Febreze from my bathroom because I was just like, the smell is stressing me out. I've never smelled such a crazy smell of piss. For some reason, this wood, when I burned it, kind of smelled like piss. I wonder if an animal pissed on this. This was a free lamp that my dad gave me, so you know. Today's episode is going to be very different from other episodes. I'm going to read a Substack article that I've been working on for a while. And I was inspired by a video I watched with one of my best friends, Lucy. A video essay by Savannah Brown. And she did one on astral projection, and we were watching it the other day, and I felt very inspired by that style of video. And then I was like, why don't I try out a video podcast? Because I was like, this is my little creative corner. I have my creative altar here with like a poem collage that I made, and this like little altar that I made based off a description from the Poetry as Spellcasting book. Should I give a tour of my altar? Why not? Like, now we have video on the podcast. It's so fun. This is a little, like, ramekin that I stole from a brunch place, but it's so cute. I actually stole it for my bestie Jade, but they never got it from me, so I have some amethyst. I have this little swan dish that I got from my mom forever ago. Is that a swan? Yeah. And it has some soil in it, presumably because there was supposed to be a representation of each element on this altar. It's been a while since I've made it. I have this like clear crystal just for like clarity. I have a few random things, like a little flower to represent earth. I think one that I picked on a walk, acorn to represent earth, and then I have a clear little pyramid crystal quartz, probably for clarity, in this little bag. I have so many of these bags because like every small business in Austin that's like witch adjacent uses these, which I love because I love these little bags. I use them for everything. I have this teacup that my best friend Lucy got me, some salt for cleansing. I have a flower that I got from the Pom Pom Squad concert forever ago, like almost a year ago now, which is crazy. And I have a little candle holder to burn my tiny candles. And I have a feather to represent air. I'm guessing, I think there used to be water in here because I think this was my representation of water, but perhaps I should refill it. And then I have a Polyjam card, which is for my friend's open mic, which really creatively inspires me. So yeah, that's my tour of my creative altar. And then I have this plant up here, and then you can't see it, but I have a little collage that I made up here that has to do with like my dream environment based off of an Artist Way exercise. So yeah, okay. Anyways, now that you're acquainted with the space, I wish that I could like push this out of the way. Maybe I should. I want that to be the vibe. So forget you saw that. That was my bed, and just like forget that that's there and pretend it's like a vast open field. And this is just like a cut off of a building in an open field, and it's very artistic and it's very rich and it's very high production value. And then also my guitar case is right here, but you can't see it. Okay. So I just have to figure out how to find my drafts on here. Why keep this up? The gathering. My mom used to have a craft room. I would get fidgety when my friends asked what was behind that closed door, which contained piles of loose scrapbook materials and old teaching supplies. I asked to help her go through and get rid of the stuff several times in hopes of clearing out the shame tied to the clutter. Stuff likes to grip onto us, like lingering spirits that are meant to be dead and buried. I take the grief of a lost earring over the anxiety of a pile of plastic jewelry. Canned goods lined the shelves of my dad's pantry from the time he was unemployed, and the food bank was the source of our groceries. They really do give you the most random food items. So many jars of store-brand peanut butter and boxes of shitty pasta. Sometimes, I would sift through his kitchen cabinets and find something that had expired before my parents had gotten divorced. Why did he pack months-gone green beans to take to his new house? Stuff is so tied up with what we won't let go of. He probably hadn't processed that loss, so he was holding on. I think my parents' wedding album still sits on my dad's bookshelf. My parents' cars were always in the driveway because the garage was stacked with boxes and boxes of things we never needed, never used. Why the fuck do we always want more? Why do I allot $100 or more, probably more, every month to shopping? And why is my alarm going off right now? Oh, because it's 7 a.m. That's when my alarm goes off. Why do I allot $100 every month to shopping, to buying new clutter? Or, if I'm smart and intentional, I buy only things I will immediately read, use, consume, experience. Sometimes I buy something and immediately regret it, especially because I'm a poor 25-year-old, which feels a little more serious than being a poor 20-year-old or a poor 15-year-old, etc., etc. Every once in a while, buying something feels really good, though. Those are normally purchases that I spent weeks or longer preparing for. I recently bought Dossier's Ambery Cherry perfume using a $50 Visa gift card I won at work, and I still feel good about the purchase. I immediately started spraying the perfume daily. The objects I use most are the things I don't regret buying, like my laptop, my prescription sunglasses, my thrifted purse, my blue mascara, the art hanging on my walls, my septum ring, my comforter, a box of Band-Aids. I recently cut my thumb pretty badly. I hate china cabinets. I hate objects that for some reason can only be used for special occasions. If I had nice china, I'd be using it every day. What about collections? Why would I need a bunch of water bottles or Starbucks cups or purses or mugs? I am one being. I have two hands. But this really isn't meant to shame people who do cherish and find meaning in their collections of things. I love to see the museums that people make on the walls of their kitchens and bedrooms. The problem comes when there's no intention tied to the gathering. I also have a couple collections. A stack of punk zines, which I am committing to reading through, and a drawer of pens that I need to put on my bags and denim jacket. I want to use everything I have as often as possible before I accumulate more. When I was a kid, I used to have a sheet of super cute stickers that I wanted to preserve. Perhaps I was raised to wait to use things until the time was right, or maybe it was my hoarder's genetics. Nature, nurture. Perhaps the sticker sheet was my looming little craft room. When my parents got divorced, my mom donated and threw away most of what she had collected in that craft room. When I was 18, I found that sheet of stickers in a box at my mom's house. Unused. What was the point? It makes me sad that I waited to use the stickers that I loved until they became obsolete. I could have decorated my mirrors, passed them out to friends, filled the pages of my diary. Just think of the art my friends and I could have created with the crap in my mom's old craft room if I had shared instead of shamed and kept to myself. My goal for the next year of my life, starting now, is to use all the stuff that I already have and share it with others once it no longer serves my highest self. I gotta figure out what that means. Perhaps Marie Kondo can help me out. I mentioned to one of my dearest friends that hoarder tendencies run in my family, and they said that these tendencies are a form of OCD. On that note, I've also been trying not to hoard information. I don't need or want to know what every person on Reddit has said about something I'm experiencing in my body or in my life, in my relationships, in my connections. Perhaps I've been hoarding reassurance, Googling and inquiring with friends to overflow a cup within me that I've failed to even fill. I crave gathering, keeping. It's hard to sit with what I have, and even harder to sit with loss. That's my confession. I have furniture that I don't use, which I only keep because my mom gifted it to me and I don't want to make her feel bad. I have a box of notes and letters in my attic from people that I don't speak to anymore. My logic on this being, what if I want to use them for art later? Or that's art that someone else made for me. Really though, art is meant to be expressed and experienced, not hoarded or kept away. I have this piece hanging up on my wall that I made earlier this year. It features a bluebird candle sitting on top of a cake. On it, I wrote, "Creating to burn. What's the point?" The point, the dead man said, is to celebrate the creating. There's a full moon again in a little over a week. It's the perfect time to burn stuff in a symbolic way. Perhaps I'll take a match to the box of stuff in my attic. And then I have the lyrics to a song. Should I try to play it? I don't know if I'll post it, but I mean, my guitar is right here. It's been a while since I've played this song. I might have to go... Ooh. I might have to go find my journal that has the chords written in it. I don't even remember which journal it's in. But this is dangerous to do with like open flames behind me, I feel like. I think I just made a dent in my wall. So it's a little tight right here. Ugh. Do you think I can remember the chords? I don't think I can. Okay, pause. Like, oh my god, the space is really small and tight. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna try to find my journal that has the lyrics to this song in them. There's a fucking roach. There's a fucking roach. Ew, 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 ew. No. No, 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 no. Ew. Fuck. Gross. Gross. Fucking gross. Oh my fucking god. Bro, fuck no, bro. Fuck no. I don't know where it went. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Where the fuck did it go? It's under the bed? I literally can't. Like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh my god, I literally don't fucking see it anywhere, which means it's somewhere in this space. Oh my fucking god, is it in the fucking pillow? I'm gonna freak the fuck out! So, there was a little bit of technical difficulties on the podcast just now. Because of a roach. And I'm gonna take it as I needed that moment. I literally just recorded for like 30 minutes and it didn't record any of the audio. So that's okay though, because I know exactly what I recorded. It was my song. And then I pulled a card, which I'll talk about later. But And I also read a little bit about the astrology. I'm trying to learn the balance. Why is it so hard? I've got way too much bullshit on the walls of my heart. A house, so many pages that I have never read. Wonder if I'll get to them before I am dead. And I can't take any of this to the afterlife with me. Stickers and candles piling up like guilt and grief. Thrift stores are a graveyard and a wake for haunting habits, hoarders, genetics. When I was 11, cried because I wanted more. Now I'm making bonfires out of all the piles on my floor. Stacks of paper and memories, years of debt and rotten fleas, gnawing at the stuff of me that waits for more than apathy. And I can't take any of this to the afterlife with me. Stickers and candles piling up like guilt and grief. Thrift stores are a graveyard and a wake for haunting habits, hoarders, genetics. Portrait, burn it down. Excess makes a girl a clown. Beg my mom, sell the mound just to rebuild an abandoned town. Does it spark joy? Can't quite say. Find myself saying just in case. Candy wrappers and plastic jewelry, Barbie house and rattle tires, swing yellow letters in the attic. T-shirt, he said, don't get rid of posters and paper scraps, crystals and gifts I don't like. Give, take, I took too much. I want this, you need that. Consumerism has a hell of a bite. Overstimulated, unevolved, a collector's fate lost in the crap. And I can't take any of this to the afterlife with me. Stickers and candles piling up like guilt and grief. Thrift stores are a graveyard and a wake for haunting habits, orders, genetics. All I'll never learn sits at my bedside, tugs at my ankles, overwhelmed, whispered in objects, swirling around my room, a halo of excess, give me revelation. White walls, flat field of wheat, only 100 pages to read for eternity. Exactly. I'll finally be an expert. Remove labels and boxes of things I'll never use. Why keep this up? The gathering. I want to be cremated with all my stuff. I tell my friends over brunch. Our glasses clink, promising a final piece, a blinding light, a stinging purge. Take, I took too much, just a body, now kneel. The day that I'm releasing this episode, there's gonna be a full moon and I believe a lunar eclipse in Virgo. And the best time to let things go or burn something or release something is definitely a full moon. But if you're listening to this and it's not a full moon, any time is a good time to let go of something. A good practice to do this is to write something on a bay leaf, although that is more typically used for manifestation. Personally, I will just use a piece of paper if I would like to ritualistically let something go. But in a way, manifesting your desires is also a way of letting go, because you're letting that desire go and recognizing it's not in your control, the outcome, but that you do. I don't know. This episode's not about manifestation, so yeah. For the full moon, or whenever you're listening to this, try to get rid of one thing. We have a lot of stuff, and I guarantee that whether it's a thing or an emotion or even a relationship, a connection that no longer serves you, letting go of it will feel so good. And there may be somebody else who can use that thing. This doesn't really work for the other two, but there could be somebody else who uses that thing that you donate or get rid of or let somebody else borrow or have. That will make better use of it, and it will more spiritually align with them. I'm kind of loving the sun coming in. It kind of looks beautiful. I'm not even mad that it's like, you can't see my face. I think it's kind of working. So, on Tuesday, March 3rd, which is when I'm going to be putting this episode out, I want to read the details about the lunar eclipse and full moon that's happening in Virgo. The lunar eclipse and full moon in Virgo brings a powerful culmination around healing, order, and practical service. Release perfectionism and make space for sacred imperfection and embodied clarity. I would definitely say this episode embodies that clarity and imperfection, and we're embracing it. And that's art, baby. Earlier, I drew a tarot card. Well, actually, an oracle card from my literary witches oracle deck, because this podcast does center poetry. The card we got was, I may butcher her name, but it's Faraxad. This is the card. And for those who are just listening, the card symbol's rebellion. And this is an author. So the description of the card, let's see. The card also symbolizes independence, barriers, and isolation, which you can see she has the wall around her. So she was on Earth from 1935 to 1967. And she wrote sensual, nature-rich poetry, placing her among Iran's greatest poets. She was heavily criticized for resisting societal norms. At 21 years old, she was the first Persian poet to write explicitly about sexuality, and she also worked as a documentary filmmaker. and adopted a son from a leper colony. Some believe that she prophesied her accidental early death in a car crash in the poem Let Us Believe in the Beginning of the Cold Season. I want to close out this episode by reading that poem. And before I read that poem, I would like to say thank you for listening. And let me know one thing in the comments that you're letting go of or getting rid of. Let's experience this poem together. And here I am, a lonely woman on the threshold of a cold season, at the dawn of realizing Earth's sullied existence and the sky's blue despair and the impotence of these hands made of cement. Time passed. Time passed and the clock struck 4 times. 4 times. Today is the winter solstice, and I know the secret of seasons, know the language of moments. The Messiah sleeps in a grave, and the earth, the hospitable earth, beckons one to serenity. Time passed, and the clock struck 4 times. The wind blows in the alley. The wind blows in the alley, and I think of the flowers mating, their slender, anemic blossoms, and this tired, tubercular age. A man passes by the wet trees. A man whose strings of blue veins are dead snakes wrapped about his throat, pounding his angry temples with those bloodied syllables. Salam, salam. And I think of the flowers mating. On the threshold of a cold season and in the mirror's grieving vigil, in faint memory's mournful wake, and in this dusk pregnant with wise silence, how can one cry stop to the one who moves so patiently, heavily, lost? How can one say to this man that he is not alive, that he has never been? The wind blows in the alley, and seclusion's lonely crows tore the old groves of boredom. How lowly the ladder's height. They carried off a simple heart to the fairy tale palaces, and now, how can one rise to dance, release one's childhood hair into flowing streams, and crush underfoot the apple she has at last picked, at last breathed in its perfume? Beloved, my truest friend, such black clouds await the sun's festival. It was as if the birds flew along an imaginary line, as if the young leaves that sensuously breathed in the breeze lived in the lines of a green delusion, as if the purple flame that burned in the window's chaste mind were nothing but the innocent fantasy of a lamp. The wind blows in the alley, and it is the dawn of destruction. The wind also blew the day your hands fell to ruin. Dear stars, dear paper stars, how can one take refuge in the verses of defeated prophets when lies blow through the air like wind? We will meet like those dead for 1,000 years, and then the sun shall judge the state of our bodies' decay. I am cold. I am cold, and I think I will never feel warm again. Beloved, my truest friend, how aged was that wine? Look, how heavy time stands here, and how the fish nibble on my flesh. Why do you always keep me at the bottom of the sea? I am cold and despise shell earrings. I am cold and I know nothing will remain of the red delusions of a wild poppy but a few drops of blood. I will let go of lines, of counting numbers too, and from among the limits of geometry seek refuge in the soul of infinity. I am naked, 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 naked as the hush between the words of love. My wounds are all exacted by love, 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 love. I guided this wandering isle away from the ocean's tempest, away from the volcano's eruption. To shatter was the secret of that unbroken body from whose humblest pieces the sun was born. Salam, innocent night. Salam to you, this night who transforms the wolf's eyes into bony sockets of trust and faith. Beside your streams, the willow's souls are sniffing the axe's kind souls. I come from a world of apathetic thoughts, voices, and words. A world like a snake's lair, a world of footsteps, of people who embrace you, all the while weaving in their thoughts ropes to hang you by. Salam, chaste night. There is always a gap between seeing and the window. Why did I not look? That time a man passed by wet trees, why did I not look? I think my mother wept that night. The night I felt the pain and a being formed in my womb, the night I became an acacia bride, the night Isfahan's blue tiles echoed and the one who was half of me returned to my womb. I saw his reflection, pure and bright as the mirror, and suddenly he called to me and I became an acacia bride. I think my mother wept that night. How useless the light that fell on this closed door. Why did I not look? All the moments of happiness knew your hands would come to ruin, and still I did not look. Not until the clock's door flew open and the sad canary sang 4 times, and I met the small woman with eyes like phoenixes' empty nests. With each hurried step it was as if she carried the virginity of my lavish dreams to the dark bed of night. Will I ever again comb my hair with the wind? Will I ever again plant purple pansies in the garden or set geraniums in the sky behind the window pane? Will I ever again dance in faces of wine glasses? Will I ever again wait anticipating the doorbell's chime? I told my mother, "This is the end. Before you know it, it shall happen. Let's send my obituary to the papers." Hollow human. Hollow, trusting human. Look at his teeth singing as they chew, and his eyes devouring as they stare, and how he passes the wet trees. Patiently, heavily, lost. At the hour of 4, at the very moment his blue veins, wrapped about his throat like dead snakes, pound his angry temples with those bloodied syllables, "Salam, salam." Have you ever smelled those 4 water lilies? Time passed, and the night fell on the acacia's naked limbs, glided on the window panes, and with its cold tongue licked away the remainder of the day. Where have I been? Where have I been that my body so smells of the night? The grave is still soft. I speak of the grave of 2 green young hands. How kind you were, beloved, my truest friend, how kind when you lied. How kind when you closed the mirror's eyelids, loosened the bulbs that hung from their wire branches, and led me through the dark to love's pastures, until that dizzying steam which follows thirst fire settled on the fields of sleep, and the paper stars circling eternity. Why did they voice their words? Why did they take seeing to the house of visitation? Why did they take caressing to modesty of a virgin's hair? Look how the one who spoke with words, caressed with eyes, and was tamed by touch was nailed to the cross of apprehensions. How the branches of your fingers, like 5 letters of truth, left a mark on her cheek. What is silence? What is it, my trusted friend? What is silence but unspoken words? I am bereft of words, but the sparrow's language is nature's unyielding euphoric flow. The sparrow's language means spring, leaves, spring. The sparrow's language means breeze, fragrance, breeze. The sparrow's language dies at the factory. Who is this? She walking eternity's road toward the moment of fusion. She who winds her watch without childhood's logic of subtractions and additions. She for whom the day does not begin with rooster's crow, but with breakfast's aroma. She who wears love's crown and has withered in the folds of her wedding gown. And so, in the end, the sun did not shine at once on both poles of despair. You drained of the blue tile's echoes. I am so brimming full that people pray over my voice. Lucky corpses, tired corpses, silent pensive corpses, social chic well-fed stiffs in the stations of regularity, and beneath suspiciously temporary lights, who lustily buy futility's rotten fruits. How they stand at intersections, worried about accidents, and whistles commanding stop, at the very moment when a man must be crushed beneath the wheels of time, a man who passes by wet trees. Where have I been? I told my mother, this is the end. Before you know it, it shall happen. Let's send my obituary to the papers. Salam, strange loneliness. I concede this room to you because black clouds always are prophets of new purifying verses, and in a candle's martyrdom lies a resplendent secret that its last and tallest flame grasps. Let us believe. Let us believe in the dawn of the cold season. Let us believe in the ruin of imaginary gardens, in idle inverted skies, in confided seeds. Look how it snows. Perhaps the truth was those two young hands buried beneath snow. And in the coming year, when spring mates with sky behind the window, fountains of green saplings will erupt. Saplings that bloom, beloved, my truest friend. Let us believe in the dawn of the cold season.